Hey beautiful beaders, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and I want to welcome you to the crisscross candy bracelet tutorial. I created this design using 2-hole candy beads and DiamonDuos as the focus, and I do want to let you know I will leave the full materials list and links down below. For everything I'm using today, everything can be found at eurekacrystalbeads.com, and as you can see here, the sky is the limit with the color variations you can choose. The bracelet we will be making today will be about 7 inches in length, including the clasp, so keep that in mind when you're preparing your materials in case you want to adjust the length of your finished product. As far as materials go for this piece, you're going to need 10 2-hole check glass candy beads, 22 2-hole DiamonDuos, 40 3mm fire polish beads, some 11-0 seed beads, and also some 15-0s. In addition to the beads, you will need 2 jump rings, 2 wire guards, the clasp of your choice, some 0.006 inch diameter Fireline or your choice of beading thread. We will be using 2 needles today on our thread to get the project started. It may help you not only to have a size 10 but also a size 12 because we will be going back and forth through some 15-0 beads with very tiny holes. And of course you'll also want to have some scissors and some jewelry pliers. Like I said, all of the materials I will be using today, including these specific colors, will be linked and listed down below. To begin this project, we will be using 2 needles, so you can go ahead and put those on each end of your beading thread. And the beads we will start out with are the 11-0s, the 15-0s, and your 10 candy beads. You'll also need one of your wire guards to get started if you are planning to use one. As a brief reminder, the wire guards are great for protecting your thread from normal wear and tear of wearing your bracelet and the stress points at each end where the clasp are located. If you don't have a wire guard and you don't plan to use one, you can just make a loop of seed beads in its place that you can then attach your jump rings and clasp to. So take your 2 needles and take your wire guard and feed both ends of your needle through each loop of the wire guard like that, and pull your needles while holding the wire guard until the guard reaches the end of your thread and you have your loop sitting just like that. Now set your work down and get your thread positioned so that you have 1 thread on the left and 1 thread on the right. Beginning with the thread that is on your right, you want to pick up 6 11-0s, and pull those down to your work. Now set your right hand needle down and pick up your left needle. If you are experienced with using 2 different needles, you can go at this pattern at the same time using both hands, but for purposes of the tutorial, I will be switching off. So using your left needle, you want to pick up also 6 11-0 seed beads, but this time also pick up a 15-0 and 2 more 11-0s on your needle and pull those down to your work. Now with your right hand needle, you want to cross through this 15-0. So take your needle and go right through that 15-0, just holding all of this together in your hand, and pull. And that's what we have so far, and we want to match the other side, so still with our right hand needle, pick up 2 more 11-0s, and this time pick up one of your 2-hole candy beads, and I'm going to go through the right hand hole on this 2-hole bead and pull this down to your work. After that, you want to pick up your left hand needle and go through the left hole of the candy bead, and once you pull your work down, that is what you should have. Now going forward, for the next 9 candy beads, we're going to repeat the same process, and this is going to be the center of our bracelet. If you want to do 1 hand at a time or 2 hands at a time, it's up to you. You're going to be picking up 2 11-0s on the left side, plus a 15-0, and plus 2 more 11-0s, just like that, and pull this down to your work. And now with your right hand needle, pick up 2 11-0s, but this time, before picking up 2 more, you want to pass through that 15-0. Now to match our other side, we want to pick up 2 more 11-0s, and while we're using the right hand needle, you can also pick up another 2-hole candy bead and pick it up, making sure the correct side is facing up. So I have the rounded part up on the first one. I want to make sure that I'm picking this one up also with the round side facing up. And I'm going to pull that down. And then we're going to take our left hand needle and we're going to go through the left hand side of the candy bead. And if this flips around on you, it's normal. Just as you're going, you're going to continue to train your beads to go in the same direction. So don't panic if one of them flips over. It is going to come all together and stay in place once we complete the sides of the bracelet. So just do the best you can trying to keep all those candy beads facing in the same direction. So continue the same process that we just did. I'll use 2 hands this time, 2 11-0s on each side of the needle, but with your left also pick up a 15 and 2 more 11-0s. So you should have this, and then pull these down to your candy bead. And now take your right hand needle and go through the 15-0 once again that we just added. And make your next little crisscross. Still with your right hand needle, pick up 2 more 11-0s and the right hand side of your next candy bead. And pull this down. And now with your left hand needle, go through the left hand side of the candy bead. So this is what your work should look like so far. You will continue making your X's with the seed beads and adding your candy beads until you get to your last candy bead, and then we'll meet back and continue on with our bracelet. Alright, welcome back guys. So this is what your piece should look like so far, and here are our 2 needles. You can see the thread is coming out of both ends of this very last candy bead. And we want to mirror what we did over here, and that means you'll need to get your wire guard, and I'm just going to move my piece down here so it's easier for me to work with. And picking up your left hand needle, you can string on 2 11-0s, 1 15, and 6 more 11-0s. And pull those down to your work. Now with your right hand needle, pick up 2 11-0s, and like we did on the other side, you want to sew into the 15-0 here at the end that you just added. So pull that through. And also with your right hand needle, you want to pick up 6 11-0s. And this time you can also pick up your wire guard and go through the right hand side of your wire guard while you have your right hand needle and thread already in position. And now you can swing your needle around going through the other side of the wire guard and also down through those 6 11-0s on the other side. It's just going to be joining everything together. And you can do that one at a time if your beads are not cooperating. It'll get easier once everything's cinched up. So again, that was my right hand needle, and I'm just going to set this down, and I'll pick up what was my left hand needle, and this is going to swing around. I'm going to take it with my right hand. I'm going to swing around this way, going up through that wire guard with my other thread, going around the wire guard through the other hole, and then also through the 6 seed beads that are on the other side. And pull that. And just make sure your loop sits in the groove of your wire guard. And also take a minute just to make sure all your candy beads are facing in the same direction. Like I said, they may have a tendency to turn a little bit on you, but they are going to sit in place once we finish up the sides. Pull your threads on each side. And at this point, we're going to just be working with one side or the other. So decide on which side you want to work on. I'm going to start heading this way, back toward the left. So with the thread in my right hand, what I want to do next, we're coming out of this 11-0 here at the right hand side of this 15-0. We want to continue by going down through the 15-0. And if you find that you're having a hard time passing through your 15-0s, this would be a great time to switch to the size 12 beading needles. You don't want to break one of your beads by forcing your needle to go through. For now, I'm doing just fine with the needle I have, but we will be passing through these multiple times. Now go through the 2 11-0s that you get to next. And again, you'll want to pull on both of these threads just to keep everything tight and your thread in your wire guard. This is optional, but something I found that was helpful for me was at this point to go ahead and make a half hitch knot. That will tack this thread in place so it won't be slipping and sliding around as much. And you can even do that with the other side now if you prefer. So I'm just going underneath the thread bridge here, right next to the candy bead where I'm coming out, making a loop, and just making a small half hitch knot right there, just to keep that thread tight around the wire guard. And it's at this point we're going to start introducing our DiamonDuos, so you can pull those out and we'll continue working down this side. Alright, so as you can see, DiamonDuos are another 2-hole bead that are side specific, so you want to make sure that you pay attention to the side that you want facing up, and this DiamonDuo is going to nestle right in there just like that. So with my DiamonDuo facing up, I'm going to go down through this left hand side of the bead, and pull that to my work. And then I'm going to be adding some beads around it. So I want to pick up 2 11-0s, 1 15-0, and 2 more 11-0s. And then this time go up through the right hand hole of your DiamonDuo. And just pull that DiamonDuo close to your beads up here. You don't want any big gaps or anything. And the next step is to go through these 2 11-0s right before the 15-0, as well as the 15-0 and the 2 11-0s after that. So just go through what you can go through at one time. I'm going to go ahead and go through these first 3 that I get to. And now I'm going to proceed through the next 2 11-0s. And then I'm going to go through the candy bead. So go through the hole on the side that you're working on. Pull that. You're going to want to go through these seed beads again. So go through the 2 11-0s, the 15-0, and the next 2 11-0s. And you're ready to put on another DiamonDuo that's going to nestle right into that V right there. So making sure you have the correct side facing up, go down through the left hand hole of that bead and pull that towards your work. And repeat the same steps all the way down. So pick up 2 more 11-0s, a 15, and 2 11s, and you'll be going up through the right hand hole of the DiamonDuo, Now go through the 2 11-0s, the 15-0 and the 2 11-0s. And make your way down through the next candy bead. And repeat these steps all the way down until you get to the end of your bracelet, and we will meet back. Alright, so we have one side almost done. I'm just going to put on my last DiamonDuo. So we're going to go through these 11-0s, that 15, and these next two 11s, and once again, same thing, going down through that left-hand hole, adding our seed bead loop, going up through the right, and back through these seed beads. Alright, now you have a couple choices here. You can either keep using the same thread that you used on this side and swing around and complete the other side, or you can pick up this other thread and continue on with that thread heading down this way. It's totally up to you. I'm just going to keep using the same thread I was using because it really makes no difference at this point. So coming out of this 11-0 right here, you can just go through the next 4 11-0s as well as that side of the wire guard and pull your thread. And I'm just going to turn my entire bracelet this way because it's easier for me to start working in the other direction. And swing your needle around and go through the other end of your wire guard as well as the next seed beads. Go through the series of 6 right there if you can get through all those in one shot. And again, making sure your thread sits in the groove of that wire guard. You'll also be going through your 15-0. And you'll notice it's starting to get a little bit tighter going through that 15-0, so I'm probably going to switch over to a size 12 needle here soon. And then go down through the next 2 11-0s. And you're going to repeat the same process that you did on this side over on this side. And then we'll meet back again. Alright, welcome back again. We have all of our DiamonDuos in place, and I'm just going to continue using the same needle. After popping this last DiamonDuo back in, I'm coming out of the second 11-0 after this 15-0 right above the DiamonDuo, and I'm going to take my needle and go down the left hole of this DiamonDuo again, and we're just going to be embellishing the sides a little bit more. So I'm just turning my bracelet so it's easier for me to work with it. And I'm going to be working on this right hand side. So go up these 2 11-0s that you get to on the outer edge of your DiamonDuo, skip over the 15-0, and go through the next 2 11-0s. And that's just going to help that 15-0 to pop up just the slightest bit to give it more of a pointed look. And this is where your 3mm fire polish will come in, so you can get those out. And we're going to be picking up one of those plus an 11-0 and one more fire polish. Then continue by going through the next 2 11-0s on the outer edge of the next DiamonDuo. And pull that, and those fire polish will pop right into place, as you can see. Just like we did before, we want to skip over this 15-0 and continue by going through the next 2 11-0s. And pick up a 3mm, an 11-0, and a 3mm. And once again, go through the next 2 11-0s on the outer edge of the next DiamonDuo and pull and pop those into place. So you're just filling in those gaps. I'm going to skip over the 15-0 and go through the 11s and do the exact same thing again. So this is what you're going to do to complete this side, And based on the length of the thread that I have, that's going to about wrap it up for this side of the thread. Skipping over the 15-0, going through those 11-0s. So keep adding these in and we'll meet back once we get to the end of the bracelet. Alright, so once you have all your gaps filled in with your fire polish and your 11-0s, I got to the very last DiamonDuo on this side, again skipping over the 15-0. I'm going to continue down these last two 11-0s. And I want to add in two more 11-0s. So pick up two of those. And those are going to be filling in this gap on this side. And you're going to be going through the final two 11-0s right next to your wire guard, plus that side of your wire guard. As you pull, it pops those into place and it finishes off your little diamond shape here. And we don't have a whole lot of thread left on this side, so I want to knot this thread off and we'll finish up our bracelet using the other side of our thread. So I'm just swinging around, going through this side of the wire guard to get me over to where I have some beads and where I can make some knots. So I'll make a little knot right here, just like that, go through a few more beads. Make another knot. Go through some more. I'm going to head up this way, make a little knot right here. And so you'll just do that however you want, and I'm sure you know how to do that by now if you've come this far. Feel free to weave as much of the rest of your thread back in as you like. And I'm just going to leave it here and trim off my thread, and we will pick up with our thread that is still on the other side that we haven't used since we were working on the center. I am still coming out of this 11-0 seed bead from when we were working on it before, and I want to make my way down to this section. So I'm not going to worry about that 15-0, I'm just going to shoot right over into these two 11-0s that are right over the top of that first DiamonDuo on the other side. Then go through that DiamonDuo, and you're going to be adding in your fire polish and your seed beads just like you did on the other side. So I'm going to go through these two 11-0s, skip over that 15, go through the next two 11-0s, pick up a fire polish, an 11-0, and a fire polish, and proceed through the next two 11-0s that are on the outside of the next DiamonDuo. Skip over the 15 and go through the 11-0s. So you get the idea. You want to complete this entire row, and then we'll just have a little bit more to do. Alright, welcome back. So all of the fire polish are in place on each side, and I'm coming through my last DiamonDuo here, and like we did on the other side, we want to pick up two more 11-0s and fill in that gap. And you'll be going through the two 11-0s that are on the end right before you get to the wire guard. There we go. So that's one end completed. Swing around the wire guard and go through that again. Put your thread into place. And we have just one more little step of embellishing to do. Now you can very well just finish your bracelet as it is. It's beautiful just like this. There's just one more little tiny step and detail I like to add to my crisscross design, and that is putting a little 15-0 right in between these fire polish. I find that it looks nice and it cinches everything up really good, but you can decide what to do. So I proceeded down through these 11-0s. Once again, I'm going to skip over the 15, and I'm going to go through the next two 11-0s after that, as well as the fire polish. And I'm going to pick up a 15, skipping over the 11 and going directly through the next fire polish. There we go. And you're going to continue that the whole way around, so not only this side but also the next side of your bracelet. So just make your way over to the space in between each of those 3mm fire polish and pop in a little 15-0. As you can see, it just adds in another little point and another little tiny pop of color all along your bracelet. So proceed in the same manner all the way down this end of your bracelet. Alright, so once you have popped all of those into place on this side, you have reached the point where you need to fill in this gap again. So pick up 2 11-0s after you're coming out of these last 11-0s on the other side of that DiamonDuo, and go through once again the 2 11-0s right before the wire guard, as well as that side of the wire guard, and pop those 2 into place. Swing your needle around the wire guard, also going through the next 2 seed beads right after it. Then pick up the last 2 11-0s you'll need to pick up and proceed through the next 2 11-0s that you get to on the outer edge of that DiamonDuo. And there you have completed this end of your bracelet, and you're going to continue on to finish off this side finally by adding in those last 15-0s just like you did on the other side. So I'm going to go through this fire polish and we'll get started together. And after you've completed that step of adding in those 15-0s, that's the last thing you need to do for your beading. And at that point, you'll just want to make your half hitch knots and weave your thread back in as much as you want to the point where you feel that your piece is secure. So at that point, we'll meet back, we'll pop on our clasp and our jump rings, and we'll admire our work. All right, our beading is done. So let's pop on our jump rings and our clasp. I am just using a magnetic clasp today, but you can use whatever type of clasp that you want. And I'm going to bring this together, putting this jump ring on the other side, and using my other pliers to close that up. So here's a look at the finished bracelet with this particular color scheme in the different tones of green and gold and tan. I'd love to hear about what color combinations you decided to use. You can even change it up like the one here where I used 2 different colors of 11-0 seed beads and get an even different look. So here's a look at the bracelet on my wrist. Don't forget you can check out the full materials list and all the links below to the materials that I used from EurekaCrystalBeads.com. And I want to give you guys a huge thank you for being with me for another tutorial. I hope it was fun and helpful for you and gave you another way to use some of these 2-hole beads that you may have in your collection already or are interested in trying out. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please stay tuned for much more to come. And until next time, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. And as always, happy beading. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. For more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can check out the information section below this video for links to all my social media handles, recommended products, and my shop and blog at orchidandopal.com. Thanks for watching.